This was a premeditated attack.
Conclusion. Their target was the space station, but their strategies are still unknown to us.
That's right. Which is precisely why we need him. The last to lay eyes on Herta's puppet before the attack was him.
And you are?
This is Dr. Ratio of the Intelligentsia Guild, a delegate from the IPC.
He's only just woken up, dazed. He may need a few pointers. Ah, we crossed paths again. Do you remember me? Of course.
Mr. Trailblazer, you must have many questions. Please be...
You probably know the gist of things already. A few system hours ago, one of Madame Herta's puppets was attacked by an unknown perpetrator. We don't know the location of the puppet, and we can't pinpoint its signal. She's away on a visit. This issue didn't seem to trouble her much.
She received an invitation from the IPC before the attack occurred.
Ah, the technology department. Charming little place, isn't it? Madame Yabuli does possess some semblance of competence, but her subordinates? Oof. Oh, they're a riot. Brimming with enthusiasm, yet utterly devoid of intellect. It's as if evolution halted prematurely for them. They want to start some new collaborations with Herta, and have graciously extended an invite for me to play the role of science consultant. It's delightfully amusing. However, this attack was timed a little too well. I can't help but wonder if someone leaked this information, and the attackers seized the opportunity. Herta's aloof response to these juvenile provocations?
I've long heard that you're one of the best researchers in the guild, Dr. Ratio. We are honored.
Save your flattery. Time is hardly a luxury we can squander. To debate the merits of mere mortals in the company of an actual genius? Quite the paradox, if you ask me. Excuse me, you. Tell me, what were you doing the last time you saw that puppet? Don't play the fool. Think.
I think I was.
Oh, right. I need your help with something else. That curio's gone missing, and I can't just forget about it. Go find it for me when you have the time. Let me describe it again in case you forgot. It's alive, but send me a signal when you see traces of it.
I think she mentioned something. If only there were some...
Anyway, keep up the good work. I need to go out for a bit. Go ask.
My memory is kind of hazy. What did I do after that? This is what I recall before I met Herta, but let me try to remember the conversation with that.
A curio that's alive, but maybe the researchers at the departments of ecology or insight may have an idea? Hinkle and are around here.
Asta seems to have mentioned two names. Two researchers from the departments of ecology and insight.
Those despicable villains are distorting the truth. If I discover a curio that's alive but doesn't have a body, isn't that just a jinx? Oh, nowadays people call them wubbaboos? Well, I might be the Department of Ecology. Adler would be of more help, but he's been... I must say, it's a little embarrassing. We've been through a huge crisis and are still recovering. But the people are growing more and more distrustful of the management here. Never mind, I shouldn't be telling you that.
Adler. Right. Then I ran into Arlen. Adler was with him. Adler was with Arlen.
What?
He went to this.
Calm down, Brother Arlen.
We're walking the dog.
We're having a So I'm the dog?
They seem to be hiding something.
Is there?
Oh, really? What a coincidence. That kid sure is brave, running straight to the scene on his own. No danger, of course he... Brother Arlen,
Can you leave it? Let's walk and talk. Why are you looking for Adler? A lost curio. I see. He'll be able to help. Careful. The fragmentum in this area is very unstable. Over there! As I thought, he's in trouble. Let's go! Peppy! Are you...
That's me. What's up?
He wants to ask you something about curios. I'll leave you to it. Adler, Peppy,
Don't worry. I think I figured you. That's all you got? Well, there's beauty. Have you asked the... She's... Now that you mention it, let's call it a day.
Adler's...
A curio that's alive but doesn't. How's it going? Did you find the... I see. Is that what...
See?
My research...
Anxious, me?
Some researchers have things had settled down a bit with the reconstruction effort. Yes. 4 researchers have inexplicably... People were just starting to regain their footing after the catastrophe. However, as you can see, rebuilding trust is harder than establishing it in the first place. Anyway, the most important thing is to get to the bottom of the That's okay, but thank you for the offer. Oh, by the way, I heard about the thing you mentioned.
So I did It could be the key to making sense of everything.
Let me describe it again in case you forgot. It's an... Send me a signal when you see traces of it.
I think she mentioned something important, but if only there were some hint.
Anyway, keep up the good work. I need to go out for a bit. Go ask Asta if you want someone to help you.
Hey, what brings you? It's all take. Here's the account you asked. Oh, small scale.
Again?
Here too. Did my memory piece together? Now I remember. The other person is Emily. She was... What did Emily say?
I say. No need to be mod, though I confess I... See this material here? I'm not getting it.
Again?
Oh, another smart-looking youngster.
Asta told you to find me? A curio that doesn't... However, I've heard of such a species. A colleague... don't get me wrong. I was merely relaying information. I didn't mean I'd help.
The Cienjo species Emily mentioned seems to be what inspired Adler.
You asked the Department of She's not wrong.
What did I say?
She's not wrong. That's right! They're called Heliobi! Now that you... Let's call it a day.
I figured you'd come to me to... I'm sorry. The situation is very delicate.
Just as I thought. I vaguely remember that Arlen said more.
I'm sorry. The situation is very delicate. Well, how did I see? Could you... I'll be honest with you. It's been tough. The surveillance, there's only one clue. Adler observed that the automatic fire suppression system was momentarily... That means that every victim's disappearance was accompanied by some inexplicable fire. The words they used were...
Spontaneous combustion of the human body. I need to go over it from the start.
Let me describe it again in case you forgot. Send me a signal when you see traces of it.
I think she mentioned something important. If only there were some...
Let me describe it again in case you forgot. It's an energy life form. It's alive, but send me a signal when you see traces of it. That's not the point. I wouldn't be bothering with it if it didn't have something to do with the Genius Society. Anyway, keep up the good work. I need to go out for a bit. Go ask Asta if you want someone to help you.
I commend your stamina for recounting that interminable tale. You must be exhausted. Much so. To sum it up, the last time you laid eyes on Herta was in her office. She sent you on a wild goose chase for some trinket, the curio. After which you knew nothing else until Lady Asta contacted you. If that's the narrative you're sticking to, then indulge me. Who, pray tell, can substantiate this captivating... A second-hand account. She wasn't at the scene. Hearsay hardly counts as compelling evidence, now does it?
Affirmation. We can ask Herta herself.
Well, if you lace up those boots and start sprinting now, you might just catch the IPC shuttle in 4 system hours. But as it stands, not a single soul can corroborate his story.
Mr. Ratio, your style of questioning would seem to have a
Apologies. It's an unfortunate habit of mine. When one is immersed in academic research, skepticism comes far more naturally than belief. It is also the most efficient method, judging from my experience. Seeking answers with a negative hypothesis in mind is still valid research. It can still help us reach the truth. If he is truly innocent, he can clear his name with answers. And the assignment involves a curio that doesn't even hurt his collection. An endless trove of trinkets and baubles. And yet, she singles out one nameless ordinary curio? It's hard for me to imagine she would treasure one curio so much.
The curio isn't the point. Herta was only addressing it because of its relation to the gene.
I would imagine the curio is the creation of a genius.
Yes. Then you said you asked Asta for help with the lost curio. However, she decided to hold her tongue, and so what's the story? Are you full of fanciful
Conjecture. Asta...
Then you said you asked Asta for help with the lost curio. So what's the story? Are you full of fanciful fiction? Or is Asta the one hoarding secrets like they're going out of style?
The space station has been very distrustful of its higher management. Ever since another severe incident would further intensify suspicion.
Oh. So that explains why Lady Asta approved of my participation. They wouldn't be partial to anyone, but would still act for the space station's benefit. 2 researchers' disappearances, you say? Yes, I've heard the response. Clearly, though, it bears no connection to Herta's puppet being attacked. Cut the act. You're perfectly aware of the point I'm making. Clearly, though, it bears no connection to Herta's puppet being attacked. Researchers' disappearances, you say? Yes, I've heard the responsibility of sorting out that mess has been thrust upon Arlen.
I remember now.
That's enough. Researchers disappear. Clearly, though, it bears no connection to Herta's puppet being attacked. Cut the act. Your
Correction.
researchers' disappearances, you say? Clearly, though, it bears no connection to Herta's puppet being attacked.
No. If I recall correctly, Asta said, one of Madame Herta's puppets was attacked by an don't know the location.
She did say that, but then what?
There should be evidence. The space station's
But
That's what's so odd about it. But this information has an addition. This may not be direct evidence. But if the system also recorded the fire suppression then there's ample evidence to indicate that these 2 cases.
If these 2 incidents were caused by the same person, then the suspicion put...
we'll see in the main control room. Let's go.
Harrider News Flash. This is an urgent broadcast. I repeat, this is an urgent broadcast. News has finally emerged regarding the attack on Madame Herta. The Annihilation Gang has claimed responsibility for the incident and warned of further activity. The Guild has expressed utmost condemnation.
The gods of the starry skies have abandoned the world. They give no thought to the masses. Only the wounded savior can bathe the world in the firelight of destruction. Yet always there are cowards trying in vain to reject their favor and escape the wounds. Flee then. Flee as far as you can. No matter the distance, annihilation will find you.
This is...
a declaration of war, and an announcement of what's to come. They have set their sights on you. The Legion...
This Duke Inferno Ifrit is a life form that hails from Fatora, a world long since destroyed. His race, the ever-burning fire demons, regard Nanook as their emperor and savior, but the Eon has never...
a group of pitiful lunatics. I like Dr. Primitive's assessment of them. The value Nanook sees in the Annihilation Gang, the fire demons have a cruel temper and instinctively ignite and destroy items. Ifrit is particularly evil and cruel.
Japella Brotherhood. I've heard that name
On the Stellaron Hunters wanted posters, they stand accused of inciting the Japella Rebellion.
The Japella Palace crumbled in the scorching flames. Something similar is about to happen here. That video will soon circulate. And
the destruction of...
I'm afraid more than trust will be destroyed here. You need to start acting now. You have a superior strategy? Pray tell.
If we did that, we'd be at a disadvantage.
Not good. This is serious.
A list of the missing researchers and their details.
Sure, but the security department already combed through their backgrounds and personal relationships. We didn't find
a list of the missing researchers. Take it. Remember these names. Find I don't know.
What else do you need me to do?
Take me to the one who knows the most about curios within the department.
I didn't really notice at first. Adler's dead, but it's been a few system hours, and I still can't reach him. Even the surveillance, the last time I saw him was in the master control zone.
Lead the way. You said Adler was on the verge of... If his disappearance is also related to...
True. The keywords I got... We need to investigate.
That jerk! Fine! Disappear! Adler, he's been acting really weird recently. Always researching stuff. He doesn't even answer me when I speak.
What did he talk about?
He kept saying...
Frey.
Who said I want... But if you want to find him, I don't know exactly what he's searching for.
So the researchers who disappeared were at the forefront of challenging management. I finished browsing through this booklet while you were replying to messages. It's time to go back and chat with Lady...
You're back. I've been monitoring the dark web. I barely managed to stop the video from spreading.
Less than promising. We're running out of time. Let's reach... First, Adler's disappearance. He must have come across some vital information. First, Adler's The next angle is what the victims have in common. Distasteful as that discussion may... First,
Adler also.
You think that Adler's discovery...
Indeed, and I already know what he found. First, Adler's disappearance. He must have come across some vital information. The next angle is what the victims have in common. Last is the abilities of Duke Inferno and the secret of spontaneous human combustion. During prior unrest, instigated by the flickering tongues of Duke Inferno's fire carrying a certain Look, the answer is right. This booklet describes a kind of fire that can phase through dimensions, claiming it burns through worlds, leaving numerous scions of flame behind. The kindling of this unique flame must be the I fear that this is the truth Adler discovered. When Sherling said, Adler kept muttering, I believe this word was actually, as a scion of the phase flame, that is the truth of the spontaneous. We don't know where the victims went, but Duke and the sudden and consecutive disappearances provided the best. Once the seed of unrest has sprouted, he will then send out an announcement for an imminent attack. It will push the next step would be to ignite the spark. Look at those researchers who disappeared. What would happen if someone realized their similarities? I need say no more.
It was all a premeditated trap to stir up chaos on the space station.
We're running out of time.
This...
No, it isn't enough.
Indeed, it needs one more spark.
What do you mean?
If you limit your involvement to this, there's still room for excuses. If it were me, I wouldn't give you the chance.
Could it be?
Huh? What is it?
Stay calm. Asta was merely teleported. Her life would... Based on first-hand experience, I have ascertained that Ifrit's flame is simply a splinter of the primordial
That flame must still be somewhere inside the station.
A splinter, you say? The arrogance of the Trident, if you must.
It seems that Duke Inferno didn't deign to personally grace the space station. He merely cast infernal fire into our...
I will head to Herta's office and activate the folded space in the curio storage room. With some... Mr. Ratio...
...was awash with flames. It must have just... Be careful. Get ready to dash into the... See? It's still in the space. Do you know what to do with corner...
Ignorant fools! It is little wonder that even the descent of the saviors. But next time, expect...
A small fragment of consciousness in there is... Oh? No. Hold on.
Good work. You did very... Rest assured, Asta only had a fright. She is recovered. While you were chasing the enemy, the security department also found the missing researchers. Affirmation. They are all safe and sound. It was all thanks to... They fell into a spatial curio and could not leave until the Department of Ecology's most knowledge... Many of them were shaken by their experience when Arlen found them. But they are other... Yes, it is. This business is over, and I believe the space station will be able to deal... But there is one mystery that remains unsolved, and that is... I've been waiting.
Fallout from this incident remains. Surely you have plenty of pressing matters to attend to. Or is this...
Answer. That is exactly why I came. After all, the principal figure in this whole affair is right here.
When did you start to doubt?
When one is immersed in academic research, skepticism comes far more naturally than belief. I've had the same bad habit as you since the beginning, Mr. Ratio.
I must say I'm quite honored, Mr. Screwlam. But do explain, why opt for...
For curiosity's sake. Affirmation. I made the same decision as you.
Oh. And when did you become convinced?
Objectively speaking, aside from some minor spiritual trauma, no researchers were hurt in this attack, which never aligned with the Annihilation Gang's modus. Logic? A third party say...
Had I not fortuitously acquired a spark of the phase flame and intervened in Duke Inferno's teleportation, those people would already be space waste.
You are more candid.
But still behaving within your calculations, no? One last question, Screwlam. Genius though you are...
I cannot be sure and can only hypothesize. Helping the weak hints at the merciful instinct of a medical doctor. But maintaining a cool, detached observation reveals the strict... And pulling the strings from behind the curtain is akin to laying down the gauntlet.
The ruler of planet Screwlam is indeed well versed in the human mind. It's a pity your eyes... To stand aside and observe is the best treatment one can give. There is a disease called fool. The path of erudition has neither reason nor logic. While geniuses wander among the stars, the ordinary can't even trace their footsteps. But even a life marked by failure is a life worth living. It is only in moments of solitude and despair, when help is absent, that fools grab. I have a fastidious nature. I cannot stand fools, idiots, or imbeciles. Seeing them fills me with dread. Regrettably, this space station is just like the Intelligentsia Guild. Devoid.
You wish to uproot the researchers' blind worship of geniuses.
I am only laying out my questions. Pursuit tinged with negativity is still pursuit, and it is capable of leading us to the right conclusion. For the mass...
You are indeed more like a medical doctor.
As for the spark I leave behind,
I believe Asta will deal with it properly.
it is also a lesson I left for her. With that, I take my leave. I look forward to future encounters with such... A farce full of trivial concerns. Ultimately, they're just mediocre minds.